Welcome to episode 228 of the Digital Tourism Show, sponsored by Tour Panda. In this episode, we have the absolute pleasure of speaking with Cara Dzivane of Corporate Traveller, and she will be discussing how you can optimise your tour products and your accommodation products for the corporate traveller. One not to be missed.
That's all right. Thank you for joining us.
I don't know where to put my microphone. Just shoved it at the back.
Well, I appreciate you doing this.
Thank
really
you,
do.
Chris.
Thanks for coming.
Well, I'm going to say thank you afterwards.
That's right. Yeah, when I told her she was coming on first, she was like, you. So, no, but for anyone who's not familiar with yourself or corporate travelling, let's tell us a bit about yourself and what got you into corporate travel.
Okay, so I think I'm probably the first guest speaker that you've got that's not actually been in the travel industry for so long. I started 4.5 years ago with Corporate Traveller. My sister worked for Flight Centre, so Corporate Traveller are part of Flight Centre Travel Group. And I kind of saw her having this amazing career with this company that really gave her everything that she was looking for. And I was a bit jealous. But at the time, this is a bit of a long story. So before I started at Corporate Travel, I hadn't even been outside Europe before. So I didn't have a travel background in any way, shape or form, but I've been doing sales since I was 16, which is quite a long time ago. And in 2015, they changed the business development applications that instead of having a travel background, you could have a sales background instead. So that's what I did. Wow. And it's been a bit of a whirlwind since then.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what excited you about coming into corporate travel? And what was it that made you think that's what I want to do?
Well, Flight Centre are they're quite renowned for looking after their staff. I don't know if you're too interested in my sister's career, but she had basically gone from Flight Centre retail. She got married, moved to London, and then Corporate Traveller were like, well, we want you instead. So she moved from an expert travel consultant to account manager, qualified for global gathering in Macau and Hong Kong and all these kind of places, and then moved to marketing. And it's quite unusual, I think, to work for a company that are really interested in your career and kind of look at you for different roles and things like that. So yeah, that was definitely what enticed me. And then what's kind of kept me is definitely my clients. My clients, the job, and people who I work with as well. It sounds really cheesy, but we do kind of see each other.
That's half the battle if you enjoy what you do.
I know, it is. It makes it fun. I mean, it's stressful, but knowing that everyone's stressed at the same time, and it's only for good things. We're growing so fast just now, so yeah, it's been...
You must be doing well in the company, because that's what I was saying to you outside. It was like you're the face of their corporate ads and everything else now and everything. So you're doing all right. So you should be okay.
No, that was a massive surprise. There's 354 of us now in the company. So I think you've obviously got something to do with it as well, because all of our marketing was all, like, I would come into a meeting, if you can remember, 4 years ago, and I would give you all these brochures, and then we got a new general manager about 3 years ago, Andy Hegley, and he changed everything, and he was like, we need to look at marketing. Cara, why do you love LinkedIn so much? And I was like, well, actually videos are working best on LinkedIn, and I kind of grew to eat my words, because then they asked me to front all the stuff.
Yeah. So no more corporate pens. I've still got a pile of them.
I've got loads of corporate pens. I should have brought some.
So let's go into the next question in terms of what are you seeing as the key trends for the corporate traveller? What is it that the corporate traveller is looking for, and what excites them? So for anyone here who's thinking about getting their products into that sort of space.
Okay, so you'll need to stop me if I waffle on this one. Right.
Waffle as much as you like.
If you had asked me last year, we were getting ready for Business Travel Show, and everyone, I don't know, I have no idea if anyone was there or if you had an idea of what went on, but it was tech daft. Everyone was talking about technology. We'd invested millions of pounds the previous year, 2018, into making sure that our technology was the best in the market, or if maybe not even the best, just on par with your other travel management companies out there. And so tech was crazy last year. We got lots of new clients with it, but we've basically used the last 12 months to look and see why it's important. We launched our traveller app, Sam, back in February for Corporate Traveller, and the reason is a work-life balance. So even today I was asking, we had one of the directors of the company in the office today in Glasgow, and I was like, why is technology important to you? And he was like, I am completely disorganised, totally disorganised. He literally gets on a flight and then gets off, and then he has no idea how he's going to get to the airport, what his airport is, and then that's all on an app for him. So I think tech is massive, but the reason behind it is more important to us. So we're not a tech company. We've never said that we're going to be a tech company, but we are historically offline, and it's all about service to us and getting to know people. And implementation for my role is the biggest part of my role. Learning about what a business needs, learning about the travel policy, working on the travel policy is so important, and really making sure that the actual travellers are taken care of. So we've seen a massive increase in the last 6 months of, instead of people booking into your IHGs or your Radissons and things, are using independent hotels instead. And the reason for that is, as much as business travel maybe sounds quite glamorous, it's, it's awful. It's awful. You're away from your house. Well, I mean that the nicest way. You're away from your family, and so if you have to be away from your family, you want that to be as comfortable and as quick as possible. And that's not just for us who don't do it as often or as far-flung as the travellers that I've got. But when you're going to your Hong Kongs or your New Zealands or anything like that, you want it to be really quick, really easy to understand your preferences. And then when you get there, for you not to have to explain things, for you not to have to explain that you want a room away from the lift, or you like to have a kettle in your room, which sounds daft, but there's a lot of places, not the Radisson Red, that don't do that. They don't have a kettle in their room.
That's actually true. I just came back from Madrid, and all they had was an espresso machine in the place.
It?
That was it.
No water?
No, there was water for it, but there was
Not
no
like
kettle or
water.
so you couldn't make tea or anything like that.
Honestly, I've got a list. So you want me to tell me what's important to me?
I'll tell you the hotel so you can let them know. So I imagine sort of being sort of personalising it a lot is a big part of what you guys do, making it really personal for that particular traveller.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, more and more, like I go back to the Traveller app, but that's kind of what's kind of pushed us forward to this other stratosphere just now, is we're going to start putting restaurant recommendations on it. And that's only because now that we've launched it to the SME market, people are asking for that, because I don't know if you're the same, but when I go on business travel, the last thing I want to do is go to somewhere that's got loads of kids, because I'll miss Lily so much. So I'll just want to be by myself or get room service. So it's just listening to the travellers in that sense and making sure that if they're asking their travel consultant, that they're getting that, and then if we can back that up with technology, that it's there as well. But yeah, huge increase in independent hotels because of that.
Yeah, I know from the travelling that I do, if you go to a hotel, and in fact it's the same one in Madrid, I feel it was actually a nice hotel, but there was nothing there to say what you can do nearby in a hotel or anything like that, or places to eat or that type of thing. So luckily everything was paid for, so I was taken out nearly every night. But I know it was terrible. But no, I've been to places before where you're sitting there going, well, where can I go? What do I do? You're scrambling on the crappy internet to try and find out where it is. And
totally. Because as much as if I'm saying, you fly business class to Hong Kong, for example, if you're just going by yourself for one meeting, it can be... we just don't want people to think that business travel is a rubbish thing to be doing. And you want them to be going there and being fresh and actually doing a really good job of why they're there, because then they'll make more partners and then travel more, which is great.
Excellent. So we've got lots of tour operators, accommodation providers here in the room, or we're watching at home or listening through the podcast. But what would your advice be for them if they wanted to offer their products for the corporate traveller? What should they be thinking about? What sort of items should they be offering, etc.?
Well, I can provide, with being Flight Centre, it's not a small company. So, but I can definitely, I've already had some conversations and I'm like, I need to find out how we can help with this, because especially in Scotland, it's something that we're asked about quite regularly, but obviously we need to go through our preferred suppliers to be able to do that. There's loads of, this is my list. If it's hotel chains, is trying to be as personable as possible. We're talking recently of the increase in Hotel Indigo, and how many people are loving Hotel Indigo. And we think, it's not been confirmed, but when you go into Hotel Indigo, for example, if you go to one in Liverpool, you'll be reminded of the Cotton Works and and Beatles and stuff like that. And then I went to the Edinburgh one recently, and there was like the Tunnocks tea cake and all this kind of stuff in it. And I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't talk for everyone, but I definitely know a majority of our clients would like to actually feel like they're in the city, not just kind of being the same as everywhere else. I think understanding that there's a massive difference between leisure travel and business travel, and most people, I think I've only met 1 out of 50 companies that I've partnered with anyway, that actually really enjoyed business travel. Everyone sees it as a necessity, you have to do it. I mean, you have fun when you're there, but just making that as enjoyable as possible. And yeah, just being as personal as possible, and just making it a little bit easier when they're there with home comforts and things. In regards to for tour operators and thing, I think that the biggest part, the director that I was speaking to earlier, he takes directors away and he takes his top clients away and things like that. And he's like, I have actually no idea how we even find that. But one of the times that he did that, it was all through LinkedIn. So I think that, and we were talking about that, Glasgow is not on the map when it comes to travel. And it absolutely should be. And I think that marketing, even if you're in a really, really small company, I think marketing, and you know how much I love LinkedIn, is so important. And the people that you've got to verify you and recommend you as well is massively important, massively.
No, it's certainly a platform I think is vastly underutilised in the tourism industry, you know, especially if you want to do more of the corporate or the B2B side of things and things like that as well. Vastly underutilised. So how do you see Glasgow's role in the coming years for corporate travel? Because obviously, if anyone who lives in Glasgow can see, there's plenty of hotels and all things getting built nearly every single day pretty much. So it's obviously there's a demand there for it. So do you think that's just driven by, well, obviously we've got the hydro here and gigs and things, or do you think it's mostly driven by business, or do you think it's a mix, or how do you see it progressing in the future?
It's going to be massive, I think. That we've seen quite a lot of influx of, so I solely deal with Scottish companies, but primarily Glasgow companies. And when I started, most of it was people going out the way. So if they've got an office in Houston, for example, everyone would go to Houston. But now more and more people are coming in instead. And I think that that's just going to happen more and more. Can I say the B word?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I found, and Scotland have found, in relation to corporate traveller, in relation to our southern offices, that Scotland seemed to just be a bit ahead with making new trade partners. So, for example, our tech clients and finance clients as well, more and more are going across for BD meetings in the States. If I can talk about renewables, but not talk about, I would like to talk about our renewable industry for forever. We were the first, the Glasgow office was the first travel management company to ask for renewable fares as well. So we've always had our oil and gas and our marine, which seems crazy that you shouldn't have renewables. So because people are finding out about this, that we've got renewable fares we can have access to, we are noticing how much it's on the map. And I think that they're doing the offshore wind conference today as well. So every conference that I go to, everyone's talking about Scotland and the renewable market as well. So I think that will make a difference. Obviously today is a massive, I was sold out after 2 weeks or something. So we'll see a massive amount of people coming in for things like that, and I think with the trade partners as well. So the renewable industry is Taiwan, mainly Asia is where they're going. So they're looking outside Europe, and we have been doing that for about, I would say, at least 2 years that they've been doing that, and more long haul for that. So I definitely think we'll see more of the business travellers coming in, and then you can deal with them when they come here, because we will just buy their flight, and then you can get them to the hotel. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
I think it'll be a huge difference that we'll make.
No, I agree. I think it's going to make it a lot busier.
Yeah.
The renewable side of things is certainly huge, and if people will be coming in just to sort of get an idea of how is Scotland doing it.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen Portugal now 100% renewable and things like that, so I know Scotland's hopefully going to be thereabouts very soon as well. So
I went to one of our clients is Offshore Winds Consultants, and they did this charity golf event that we sponsored down in Surrey. I mean, I wasn't really too sure it was, but we went down, and there was lots of directors, and everyone was just, because going as a travel partner who sponsored an event, most people you would think would give us a completely wide berth, because they would think that we were going to sell to them, but they were just fascinated that we actually lived in Glasgow, where all of this stuff is happening. I mean, SSE Renewables, for example, they have got people every single day coming in to be able to pitch to them from all over to be able to do that. So, and the Glasgow airport as well is stepping up. They're definitely stepping up. I think we've got a bit of a rival in Edinburgh, but new routes are happening all the time. And the airlines that we've got, Logan Air, for example, completely up in their game. It's completely night and day from 4 years ago.
They're now doing flights down to Cornwall and things like that now.
I know.
It used to be, I think that used to be Ryanair or something, but now they're doing it.
Yeah.
Things like that, so.
I took the one down to Southend. It's brilliant. Then you get your wee ton of tea cake on the plane as well.
Excellent. Well, before I pass it over to the floor, I suppose now that you've done a little bit of travelling now with the business, what's your favourite place to visit then?
Did I tell you the story about this?
No, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
I have to tell you the story there. So at boot camp, there's like 30 of us that join, and most of them are going to our retail side, our leisure side. And then also to start as a travel consultant and corporate traveller, you have to have at least 5 years in the retail side. So I was with absolute travellers, and I had been to Gran Canaria. That's the only place that I had been. And you have to do a presentation and say where your favourite city in the world was. So I chose Glasgow. Everyone's like Adelaide and all these. Now I would have to say Hanoi, because I've been far now, definitely out of Europe. So I love Hanoi. I love Vietnam.
Never been.
Oh, you would love it. Yeah. You would absolutely love it. It's just the people and the food. People and the food.
Kyoto's mine so much, and it'll be. Oh. I need to try Hanoi. I need to put that on my list.
Hanoi, yeah. We flew to Hong Kong and then across from there.
Cool.
So yeah.
I think it'll be on my list then for sure.
Good. You should do.
Does anyone have any questions for Cara? And Jess will run round if you put your hand up. Yep, there's a question.
Oh, Sarah Jane. Hello.
Hi, Cara. So I'm Sarah Jane Anderson, Business Development Manager for Little's Chauffeur Drive in Glasgow. Just when you were talking earlier about the technology and things that Corporate Traveller has brought in, so Little's are a company similar in that we're very focused on the kind of personal service that we deliver our clients, and it is so important. But at the same time, we're kind of exploring the opportunities that are out there in terms of technology. But it'd just be interesting, how did you find, did that impact the relationships that you have with your clients? Has it been a really positive thing for the company, or did you lose the kind of personal touch with them? That's where we're kind of on the fence with it.
Yeah, it was a huge thing, Sarah Jane. It was massive because we've always been offline. We've always said, oh, you get that one person of contact and they'll know your business inside out. So it was a strategic thing because for us as a business sense, it's actually you get lower transaction fees basically for doing your low cost stuff on the online booking tool. So I'd say it was probably just a behavioural change for our current clients. And a lot of them we've had for like 10 plus years, so that it was a bit of a change there. I think internally as well for the travel consultants, it was a huge thing. But for us BDMs, we were like, this is amazing. Like we knew it worked. Amadeus is the one that we get our technology from, so it works really well with them. And we own our own tech company for the SAM app as well, so that's ours, that's Flight Centres. So It was a different pitch. It was a massively different pitch.
It's something new to talk about.
It was. But I think for me, and especially the older BDMs, can we say that? You were coming up against really brand new tech companies, and they're still coming out constantly. And it was really different to be able to change our pitch. But what our general manager did, is heavily invested in training. So we did 2 weeks of full-on training in regards to our presentation, not anything to do with the actual tech itself, on how we can deliver this with the same passion that we're delivering the people side. And we did all of that, and 6 months of everyone testing it and things like that, because we did not want it to go out in the market before. Wasn't working. So yeah, does that answer the question? It was a bit of a mixed bag, is probably the short answer to it.
Any other questions? Yep, Kathy.
Hello, my name is Kathy. I'm a travel blogger and consultant at Watch Me See. I write about Scotland and help people plan their trips. I have 2 questions, but I'll start with one. I don't want to hog the mic for too long. I'm quite interested in. So I mostly work with leisure travellers, not with corporate travellers. So I'm wondering, obviously you said how hotels and can kind of optimise their product or their services towards corporate travellers. I'm wondering how that would maybe apply to more leisure-based activity providers or tour companies, even if it's just walking tours or something like that. Do you feel that there's a demand for that among business travellers, among corporate travellers? And is there a difference between those, I could imagine, that only travel up for a meeting or an overnight stay, or those that go for a conference and maybe spend 3, 4, 5 or a week in a place?
Is there a demand for it? Yes, 100%, 100%. Because what do they do if they're up here? What I think about it, if I go down to London, I'm down for at least 3 nights. If that was somewhere far flung that I didn't know, or my sister didn't live there, I wouldn't have a clue what to do. So I definitely think that the demand is there. This is probably going to sound like advice. What I would do if I was in your shoes would be definitely to have someone as an ambassador for you. So what works really well in regards to myself as a business development manager, and the reason that I have had, it sounds so corny, but like a lot of success on LinkedIn in regards to new business, is that my LinkedIn was pretty much like a vlog. I used to do them maybe like on a Monday and a Wednesday or something like that. And it was literally about my day. And if I was down in London, then I would do one and then I would show Big Ben or whatever. And that's the interest in that was massive. I don't have time to do that. So I would think that there is both of them. I think that definitely get in with when they're coming up for conferences and so on, because a lot of the businesses that we deal with, they're doing these all the time, and especially Scottish companies, we like to take our clients out, especially if you're looking over to Asia or the Middle East. It's all about being able to entertain, first of all, before you do any business. So I would definitely think there's a demand to be able to do that. But I think that having something tangible on LinkedIn that someone like a corporate has actually done would be a game changer. Oh, we could maybe do it.
Can I ask a second question? I'm quite interested in also the environmental aspect of frequent travelling, of course, and maybe you have an opinion on whether that's changing. People are flying less, people don't want to travel up, they want to take the train, or they want to do it via Skype or whatever. How does that impact what you do?
It's my favourite. I didn't put that in any of the answers, but it's my favourite subject to be able to talk about. So I've gone from literally just talking about how much we'll save people and that we'll manage all their travel to literally every single presentation that I do now talking about our corporate social responsibility. More and more companies, I can't leave a presentation, even if it's with a company that spend £50,000, I can't leave a presentation without talking about it. So it's the whole thing about CSR at the moment. We're really lucky that part of Flight Centre globally, UK was the first to be completely carbon neutral. So all of our travel is completely offset, and we use a really cool company in London to be able to do that, and they do it for everyone in the UK, and our clients in turn can be able to do that. I don't think that they're travelling, I don't think that they're flying less long haul. I think it's still necessary for people to get there as quick as possible. And unfortunately, there's not another alternative to that. But can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm a huge fan of the sleeper train, a huge fan. And it took me a little while to be able to get my head round not getting a flight and a hotel and being able to put my daughter to bed and then going and getting a train and then waking up in London. But so many more people are doing that. And I know Rhiannon really well at Caledonian Sleeper, and I really need her to shout more about it because it's a complete game changer for that. I think also in 2019, it was seen that for your London to Glasgow routes, more people were taking the train than ever before. So I definitely think maybe for your low cost, for your short haul, I think there is a difference there. Internally, what we're doing at Corporate Traveller, we've got like 2,000, just over 2,000 companies that we manage travel for. And as standard, we used to charge for our CO2 report every month. So we've wiped that. And now what we do is we put it on for them. And then they have to ask us to be able to take it off, which has been a bit of a game changer. And if they want to then offset their carbon on that, then yeah. But it's something I'm super passionate about. Yeah.
Interesting. Any further questions? No? Got off lightly, I think.
I did, didn't I?
Well, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
I thank you for taking the
I said
time.
thank
See,
you
was
for
it that bad?
Yes. My gosh, you didn't put me in a stool. That would be like poison or something.
Yeah. Don't worry, no, I appreciate the time. And thank you so much. Can everyone please give a massive thank you?